Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy Mr. Oh My Lewis back at you with another video. And in today's video, we're gonna be talking about why I hated school and I still hate school. Not getting over that one that easily. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit the notification icon if you want to be notified every single time I upload a new video. And believe me, you're gonna want to, especially if you're an introvert and you're looking to learn personal development. There is no better channel than this one here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So if you're an introvert and you're someone like me, you went to school and for the most part it wasn't that great, because at school, really going from like elementary, middle school, and high school, it's usually the people who are popular, the people who are very outgoing. They're out there. They're constantly, finding little groups to join and being part of something. Like those are really the individuals that really make the most out of school, right? The really the outspoken people. But what happens to the shy people, the people who are quiet, the ones that are, very timid, very shy, very scared to socialize, and very scared to be part of any sort of a social environment, really, any gathering, any group, any like, how they have like they have teams, they have groups, they have bands and stuff like that, that you can join. And then when you're part of that, you have that ability, you have that opportunity really to, socialize and be part of something. And well, you also have the classroom, but the classroom is like the classroom, it's not like something that you actually get to choose. You kind of have to do what you got to do in order to get through school, right? But you know the reason why I hated school was because most introverts and really all these shy people really got ignored. They got really, they didn't get the attention that they deserve. And the thing is that, introverts are for the most part very disrespected, really, and not really taken into account when it comes to anything in general over there, from like anything from like social stuff, anything from like privileges, everything from like, just making sure that they're doing okay. Like they never pay attention to those people. And guess what? Those people actually are the ones who really end up becoming successful and stuff like that. And that's what I really admire about introverts. Like, a lot of them, at school they're ignored. They're called things. They're called weird. They're called all sorts of mean stuff. But guess what? Introverts are actually very smart. And you can see this, like once an introvert is out of that environment, that toxic environment where pretty much introverts are put down and they're ignored and they're not really given the proper attention and really the equality, really, because I feel like extroverts really get the most, because they have the ability to speak up. And sure, to some extent it does make sense because extroverts are able to express their personality and who they are a lot more easier than an introvert can. But that doesn't mean that the introvert is a weird person and a weird person and somebody that you can't really talk to and communicate with. So like that to me is just very it was very rude. It was very just very, I just didn't like it. I did not like it because I knew I had a lot of potential, I had a lot of abilities, but I just couldn't express them. And then there's a lot of close-minded people in school, really, because the rules are the rules of school. And so like people, the students there, they don't really like to go against the rules, and that's really what makes most of the popular guys popular, because they follow the rules. They follow what they have to do and they do it as best as they can. So they play the academic system here to the point, and that's why they get all this attention and stuff. You see, whereas extroverts, we don't do that. We, for the most part, break those rules. Now we don't break them in the sense that we do some like evil stuff, where we ditch school or we do some like crazy shit, right? We do it in the sense that we always pursue our passions because we understand we have a very deep understanding of just the human psychology in general. And if you're an introvert, you have this ability. And I'll make a separate video on how you can actually understand, how to actually decipher human psychology and how you have an advantage as an introvert. Now, if you don't want to wait for that video, because I do have a couple of other videos in line before I get to that one, you can go ahead and download my book down below, which is called From Loneliness to Social Competence. And in that book, my bad, in that book, I break that down for you and so much more. That's like the perfect book for the introvert. So if you're interested in that and you love to read, which I'm pretty sure you do, there'll be a link down below. You can download that book completely for free. I put a lot of work into that book, and it's probably my most personal and the book that I'm the most happiest to have ever made, because it's just so personal. I feel like it's going to create massive change in you if you're an introvert, of course, and you're looking to be able to socialize and just be more out there, right, as an introvert. So if you want to learn how to do that, link will be down below. But yeah, going back. Yes, introverted people. So like I was saying, yeah, we have this ability to understand human psychology a lot better. So that means that we're able to get in tune with our passions and our purpose and really who we are a lot better than extroverts can. And because of that, we don't rely on outside motivation as much. We don't rely on somebody telling us what to do. We don't rely on somebody motivating us, pushing us, telling us that, hey, you can do this and stuff like that. We don't really need any of that stuff because we have that in ourselves. And because of that, we tend to just pursue our own passions as opposed to listen to the system. So just to tell you a little briefly about my story in school, like I never really put in any effort into doing any of the work at school, like the homework, the classwork, and all this shit, like except senior year, just because I wanted to graduate. But other than that, it was just pure F's, and I didn't really care because I was in tune with who I was. Was I being lazy? Of course not. And that's the thing, like introverted people for the most part are not lazy. They're not lazy. It's just that they just haven't taken the time to organize what's already in there. But for the most part, introverts are not lazy. They may not want to do something that's asked from them. That's a whole different thing, But introverts will always keep themselves busy because, like I said, you have what it takes. You're very in tune with your passions. That's why you see a lot of introverted people, being geeks, the computer geeks, so they spend hours upon hours on the computer, while extroverts look at that person and they think he's lazy just for sitting down there and just working on the computer. Us introverts understand that that person is doing some very high level high level stuff there going on. It could be either programming, it could be gaming, it could be a lot of things that person can be doing. And that's why they're so focused, they're so in tune with their passion, and they're able to focus and have develop a very deep connection with the activity that they're doing because they're an introvert. They can pretty much close everything around them, close everything outside, and just focus on this one thing, which is amazing. It's awesome. So yeah. So as I was saying, I didn't really put in any effort into like all the homework and classwork and all that shit. Instead, what I did things that I really love to do, which was write. I would write a lot. I'd be writing, and believe me, most of my writing was not that good. But I still wrote. I wrote songs, I wrote poems, I wrote whatever I could actually, that I wanted to write. I would write little notes to girls that I liked. I would put them in their lockers and walk away. Yeah, typical high school stuff. But yeah, I mean, I would do stuff like that, and it was all fun. It was awesome. It was great. I loved it, and I had a good time. Just writing stuff. And like, yeah. So I'm getting a little lost here in this video because I have to really go back into those memories and stuff like that. But I really felt like I had to make this video because yeah, at the end of the day, school can be pretty destructive, especially as an introvert, because like I said previously, a lot of people over there, they just don't like introverts. They don't like shy people. They think they're weird because of how they are and their personality and how they're able to just focus narrowly, really thoroughly focus on an activity and completely ignore the world outside of them, really. And like, these extroverted people are just sort of jealous, that we have this ability. And so, yeah, so this could be quite demotivating for an introvert actually once they get pounded with this so much, to the degree that, you know, you just don't feel like you're like a good person anymore. You feel like you're always going against the world and stuff like that, and you feel like, oh, maybe something is wrong with me. But nothing's wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you, right? If you're an introvert and you like to just do your own thing, and you have a passion for like the computer, you have a passion for playing games, you have a passion for, I don't know, being an engineer, you have a passion for math, and you like to make crazy calculations. I personally, I'm not gonna say I hate math, but I've never really put too much effort and attention into math, just because math itself it's not necessarily a passion. But anytime I actually dive deep into math, I can do some pretty crazy shit in math, and it's not a big deal for me. But yeah. Anyway, so whatever your thing is, I'm pretty sure you have your thing, you have your passion, whatever that is, and it may be one of those things that's very complex because, as I said, introverts have a very good way of focusing, so they're able to do very complex processes because most of the complex things that are out there to do, they require a lot of focus. They require a lot of your attention, a lot of focus, really. And so introverts are very good at doing this. That's why they're able to do all these complicated processes and stuff like that. And so, yeah, like I said, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that a lot of people don't understand how an introvert works, how an introverted mind works. And so they'll try to, bring you down, especially if you went to school. You all understand what I'm talking about, because most of the people over there, most of the teachers, they're not introverts. Most of the students over there are not introverts either. I mean, yeah, they're not introverts for the most part, and so they just don't understand. And so, like I said, this can be pretty destructive, because this entire channel right here is dedicated really to unwind everything that you learn in school, because in school you learn like all the wrong ways of doing things, because like I said, there's more introverts than there is there's more extroverts than there is introverts. So for the most part, you'll start to adopt extroverted values and extroverted ways of doing things. But the thing is that it's not going to work because you're an introvert, you're not an extrovert. So the rules don't apply the same way. Even if you're trying to get the same result, you will have to take different processes in order to get there. So, yeah, you really have to consider all of that stuff. And really, yeah, this channel is really for you to help you out to unwind all that stuff, because I had to unwind everything. And a lot of people don't understand this, because a lot of the people I went to high school with, I mean, if you're one of them, you can go ahead and leave a like on this video and stuff, and leave a comment down below. But for the most part, you may know that I was very quiet over there, and now I'm here making videos, and this is just one channel that I make videos on. Obviously, I have more channels where I make other types of videos, But here's the video. Here, this is really the channel where I just sort of chill and just sort of talk about my own experience, and I try to give you a couple tips, that are gonna help you out in your journey towards adopting and embracing personal development as an introvert. But yeah, I mean, for the most part back there, I was very quiet in high school and everything, and it was just like middle school too. But like, I really don't mention middle school just because it's like way back over there. But middle school was just one of the worst actually, because that's where I really got stepped on, and people just really took advantage of me, and they were just really mean to me. And I wasn't even doing anything. Like, these extroverted people just want to step on you and stuff like that, and just because you're quiet, and just because you're not very socially capable of really responding the way that you should in these type of situations. So that's why we make that one book of loneliness to social competence, from loneliness to social competence. So, if you want to check it out down below, because it's very important that you know how to defend yourself in situations like those. But yeah, like I was saying, so it is one of the worst experiences that I've had in my life, going to high school. And believe me, I made almost no friends over there. Most of the friends over there, that's another thing too. I'm gonna make a video also on how to properly deal with friends and friendship itself. But man, the friends that I made over there were all pretty much trash. I mean, most of them I don't talk to them anymore. There's a couple, there's a few, there's a handful really of people from high school that I still talk to this day, and that I still get along with, because for the most part, you know, I just don't get along with them anymore, and that's with good reason, because they just weren't a good match, you know, over there, you know, because like I said, you're faced with these circumstances where pretty much not a lot of people like you and they find you weird. So when there's like that exception, when there's a couple people who are like, who don't really care that you're an introvert, you tend to just, you know, associate yourself with them and just jump with them, you know, and just roll with them, even if they're not a good match, just because at that point you're sort of in a situation where you pretty much take what you can. And that's not a very good way to approach friendships, because you just can't, because those are just not the rules on how to make good friends as an introvert, of course. And so you're gonna have to learn how to do that, and I will make a video on how to actually do that. But like, yeah, school, just the worst. I think it's one of the worst places that you can worst places for an introvert. I don't know how it is now. Like I said, this is me just talking about how it was in my time, and that was a couple of years ago, and I don't know if it still remains the same, but I wouldn't doubt it, just because I still see this play out to this day. How there's a big distinction, you know, between extroverts and introverts, and how they can't really associate, but at the same time they shouldn't, because they are very different people and they do carry very different minds. So they shouldn't treat themselves as though they're the same person, but at the same time, I believe there should be some sort of mutual respect for each other's abilities, because extroverts have their own set of abilities and introverts have their own set of abilities. But for some reason, extroverts think that, you know, their abilities are sort of like the standard, and it's supposed to be universal, and that everybody should have the same abilities as they do. But the reality is that that's not the case. That's not the case. It's impossible. It's not gonna happen. Introverts are good at what they do, and extroverts will be good at what they do, and there shouldn't be any judgment, any disrespect, you know, for one not being able to do what the other can. And so, yeah, it's just crazy. But like I said, you know, as an introvert, you can still, you know, become competent to a certain degree, where you can, at the very least, you know, have some sort of a competence, some sort of good level of, you know, ability to do what an extrovert can. So like, you can have a very decent way of communicating, you can have a decent way of you know, being outspoken and get yourself involved in social gatherings. So you can practice and you can get yourself to a degree where you're pretty much, you know, you're good enough, you know, to be part of that, you know, if you ever need to, because there will be times when, you know, you as an introvert, you have some sort of passion, some sort of purpose, and that purpose is going to demand for you to get yourself involved in stuff like that. Like for me, that's one example like I can give you, you know, like I wanted to make videos, but as an introvert, that's pretty hard. You know, I don't know, but maybe you're an introvert watching this video and you might be like, yeah, you know what, actually jumping onto the camera is not, it seems kind of scary, and like, it just seems kind of hard, you know, especially to come up with content on the fly, because as you may know, maybe you don't, all these videos that you see in this channel, they're all organic. I don't script anything. I pretty much just have a basic idea in my head of what I'm going to talk about, and the only thing I really do is write down the topic. here on my phone, and that's just so that I don't forget, you know, what video I have to make, because at the beginning I would even do that organic. Like I would just sit here and just think for like a minute and be like, all right, what am I gonna talk about today, you know? And so that works sometimes, but sometimes I'm just really tired. I come in and I'm like sleepy because I didn't get some good sleep last night. So then I come in here and I'm like, what the hell am I gonna talk about, you know? And sometimes I have like no idea what to talk about, and so I end up not making a video, and that's not good. So that way I just write them down. That way, even if I'm tired, I have a list to go to, and I have exactly the topics that I want to talk about. You know, of course, sometimes there's a topic that I really want to talk about, and I'm really feeling it that day. So I break off the habit, and I just go and I make the video I want to make. But yeah, sort of irrelevant here to the topic. So, school, it sucks. It sucks. It's just the worst. And who knows? Maybe in this video, if you made it to the end of this video, now you may be thinking about how, you know, school shit, and they pretty much they mistreated you. They didn't treat you as you should have been treated. You weren't respected as you should have, and how there's a lot of things about school that you're gonna have to unwind. And that's why I've created this channel, because I want to help you. I want to help you remove all that shit that school put into you, that you may not be good enough, or that you're weird, or that you don't belong, or that you're some sort of separate entity from the world, or something like that. All right, so I want to help you, you know, get through all that, and I think it's going to be very extremely helpful. So just think about that, consider that. Remember that school can be a huge influence, and so from now on, just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You know, like, this video is really just for you to gain some awareness of, you know, school and how it's affected your life up to this point. You know, everything from your friendships, from your confidence, from your self-esteem, from the way you communicate, from the way you're able to, you know, feel about yourself, really. You know, just think about it and have a very good idea of how it's affecting you. That way you're able to, you know, start to realize where you need to work on, and then you can come back to my channel, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have a video. I'm pretty sure I already made a video on something that you need some help in, and if I haven't, it's probably coming soon. But just to cover any doubts, if there's something that you want me to talk about, leave it in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to add that into the list. And if it gets a lot of likes, then I'll probably cut my list and I'll make your video first. I don't really care. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video. This video, sorry I'm like all over the place right now, man. Like I said, this is one of those days, man. It's like Friday morning, and I'm just like, ugh, you know, it's like, what's going on? What is going on today, man? Anyway, I'm just tired, sleepy, but you know, and like I said, gotta make these videos for you guys. So, and plus I love them, you know, I just love sitting down here. I hope somebody else, I hope my viewers here, you know, you guys love to just watch me sit down here and share some content, because it's fun. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button, and make sure you hit the notification icon. That way you're notified every single time I upload a new video. So without further ado, there'll be some videos here that you can check out, so you guys can go and see more of my videos. And in the meantime, I'll see you guys in the next video.